Welcome to Screencast, our only entertainment-based podcast where we're mostly going to be talking about Marvel today.
Oh yeah, we are, baby. Phase 4. It's here. It's real.
Oh, very excited. You can watch this show normally on Fridays, but today we have a very special episode on Monday because we can't wait.
Emergency screencast.
Very excited to do that. If you don't have time to watch us live, that's totally fine. You can watch us on YouTube or Rooster Teeth. And if you don't want to look at our ugly mugs while we're doing the show, you can go to your favorite podcast services and listen to us there. If you want to help support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny and support at any tier you want. Like all the Patreon producers, including Robin GL, Alec Bobko, David Mintel, Ant-Man0208, and DJ Kento. Thank you so much for keeping the show alive.
Gotta love them. Real quick, is this the image people see at home?
Yeah.
There's a mouse cursor.
Barrett, move the mouse cursor up! Good catch. Good catch. Yeah,
Some of the comments will.
This show is brought to you by our sponsors, Me Undies and Quip, but more about that later. Now it's time to introduce the people. I'm Kevin Coelho. That right there is Greg, my friend Miller.
Hey everybody, it's me, Greg Miller, Kevin's friend.
Yeah.
We're going to go to breakfast again this week. We're excited to get back on track. It's been a while since we made it to Luchos.
It's been a while.
And to his right, my left, Tam Gettys.
Tam Gettys. That's
now,
me. Let Tam
in
host.
a similar conversation to what you just had with the mouse cursor, is that on purpose? Do you want the kind of funny button upside down on your hat? Is that a choice you're making?
They can't see. It rotates. It rotates. Did I get it?
Doesn't his hair look a little
good.
like blonde right now? You got little blonde streaks?
I mean, compared to yours,
I think it's the reflection from your blonde hair.
Compared to yours,
blinding us all.
Yeah.
All right, well, now it's time for some news. News. All right, some quick non-Marvel news.
Start it with Brandon Routh, you coward.
All right, let's start with Brandon Routh.
Can you believe it's happening? Crisis on Infinite Earths, Tim. Oh my God, we go to Comic-Con. What do we know? There's going to be a bunch of stuff. We know MCU is going to be there. I'll go fast. Don't worry about it. But then we already knew that, guess what? Leading into Comic-Con, they'd break this news, right? Brandon Routh and Tyler Hoechlin, or whatever his name is, the current Superman on Supergirl, who's fantastic. If you haven't seen him on Supergirl, fantastic. These are, of course, CW shows. They announced that in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that they got teased last year on the Arrowverse, that's happening this year. Guess what? Tyler's going to be Superman, and now Brandon Routh will be Superman again. I flipped the fuck out, of course. Brandon Routh given a raw deal. Superman Returns, not tough. A good movie.
Real tough.
However, he was a good Superman. He did a great Christopher Reeve. You know what I mean? Like he did.
Yeah, he nailed it.
They said, "Here's what we need you to do," and he did it. You're like, that sucks that he never got to do it. It was when we had Brandon Routh on the GameSpot E3 stage, like in 2015, right? I talked to him about like, this is awesome that you're getting another shot, that, you know, blah, blah, blah. Now he's getting another shot to be Superman. Amazing enough. Then at the Comic-Con panel, right, they're like talking about the suit. And he's like, I'm not wearing the Superman Returns suit, and opens his shirt to reveal the Kingdom Come fucking Superman symbol. Crazy. Do we curse on this show?
Yeah,
Are you fucking kidding me?
What
Just once.
happened to you, Greg? Because like that's the type of thing where I'm just like, this is weird Greg Miller dream fan fiction stuff.
I know. I might be dead.
Yeah?
I might have died. You know what I mean? Because Marvel Ultimate Alliance is great. All this MCU stuff. This is happening. We're getting that cool Death and Return of Superman comic that's just going to be Lois, the Eradicator. Fuck, it's a good time to be me right now.
Yeah.
But are you kidding me when that happened? Are you fucking kidding me? I couldn't get over it. I'm still not over it.
Cool as hell.
Yeah.
I think it's dope that they're doing that. Like, do you think that it's gonna like pan out to be something
cool?
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing: is I am on the record as, don't get me wrong, I love the CW shows and all the shit they're doing. I stopped watching. I had to stop watching. I don't like watching.
There's so much of it.
I don't like watching
filler episodes,
content in general, right? Really, like I usually go home and play games, so that's always a struggle for me with the other stuff we do. So yeah, for sure. Like after season one of The Flash was so perfect, it's like they didn't stop and they kept going, and I get it. Make money, do all these things. I come back for the crossovers every year. Like last year's crossover was fun. It's awesome. You can drop back in, and they do such a great job of, listen, we know you're not up to date on whatever weird little shit's going on, so like broad strokes, here's what's going on and why we're gonna do it. So to have Crisis on Infinite Earths come out, which is an amazing one already, how they already did with the multiverse. Obviously, I think the only thing that could have topped this is if they would have confirmed that they're going to Smallville and bringing back Michael Rosenbaum. They're bringing back Tom Welling. I still hold that hope. I don't think it's going to happen based on the conversations I had with them at the Comic-Con panel, or the Planet Comic-Con panel in Kansas City. But I still hold that hope that it's going to be a big surprise. I also saw a headline, I didn't read the article though, that Burt Ward Robin from the Batman and Robin 60 show is going to be in this.
What?
And I don't know if all I saw was the headline. I'm not sure if he's being Robin or if he's just going to have some cameo. But if that's the kind of love and care they're giving to this thing of bringing in all these different things, because it was awesome enough last year because they did the multiverse stuff, right? Of bringing in the Flash from John Wesley Schnipp or his original Flash TV show. He's already on the Flash show now as Barry's dad, but they brought him in his original Flash outfit, right? And he turned to John Diggle and he's like, John, where's your ring? Because everybody's thought, I've been saying since the fucking first season of Arrow, he should be John Stewart, the Green Lantern. So fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked.
I love him, man. I love they're doing cool stuff like that. I did not expect Brandon to be brought back into this, let alone the Kingdom Come version, whatever that means. I doubt it's going to be.
Excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
My hope beyond hope is that they don't get into the weeds of it, and it's just like this is Brandon Routh Superman Returns Superman. This is the continuation of the Christopher Reeve Superman universe.
Interesting.
And at some point, Kingdom Come came to that universe, which you never would have thought of.
That is a real cool.
Super depressed.
Totally.
That'd be really
Jack
cool.
Nicholson, Joker killed her.
Whoa.
Come on. You know what I mean? Come the fuck on.
I really hope they do something great with this, and
Me
then
too.
someday, like 10 years from now, I sit down and watch all of the DC shows.
I think Legends of Tomorrow, season 3, episode 12 will break you.
I watched like half of. No, I think I watched the whole first season. Yeah, it was a hard show to get through. Real hard.
My big thing that I need to do, and I have not done it, is that I'm going to get fully on board with Krypton. Obviously, we love Cameron. He's great. Last year when I went to the Comic-Con panel for Krypton and they did here's everything that happened, it looked great. And Cam was very much like, honestly, from this you can jump into season 2. And now everything I've seen with season 2 looks awesome, including Lobo, including they're doing a thing right now of like the actual backstory to Doomsday, which isn't as stupid as it was it doesn't look stupid like it was in the comic books. This one actually looks really cool and like terrifying.
Is it stupid in the comic books?
Totally. We got this fucking weird baby. We're gonna keep sending it out there. It keeps getting killed, and we keep cloning it, and it keeps remembering. And all right, whatever.
That's pretty cool.
Fucking this looks better. This looks way better.
All right. Moving on to our next story. The Expanse Season 4 news has come out. They put a trailer out, and we know that it is coming to Amazon Prime December 13th, 2019. The Expanse, a show that I've gotten into very recently. Oh my God, I love it. I watched all 3 seasons in like 2 weekends.
There's too many of them. What's the nutshell to this? What happens? What's the plot?
In the future, we've colonized Mars and the asteroid belt.
Nice.
And like Mars has become their own nation.
Oh,
and like they're at war with like Earth, kind of. They keep going back and forth, and the asteroid belt we need for the resources like water and shit.
Gotcha.
And there's this weird like alien something that starts off the whole series.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. It is like super high fantasy with like crazy drama, similar to Game of Thrones. People were recommending it once Game of Thrones got bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I made
Excited
myself
for you?
sad there. Yeah, I'm very excited. Star Trek Picard news.
Ooh.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Oh, I'm very excited for the show. We got a trailer, and they made this announcement of a bunch of people are coming back. Brent Spiner as Data, 7 of 9, Commander William Riker, Deanna Troi, Hugo the Borg. It's just a lot of good news if you like Next Generation.
So here's my question for you: is obviously Star Trek Discovery. I'm in. I love Star Trek Discovery, right? I have CBS All Access, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Do I need to go back and watch all of
I think that there's no. You don't have to watch all of it. I'm sure that there'll be some sort of
list of like the 10 episodes you need?
But I'm even I'm sure they're smart and they understand there's a bunch of people that are coming from Discovery to watch Picard. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of like recap thing that'll get you where you need to be.
Okay. But in the the opposite side of what you were just talking about, of like there's no way you're going to want to watch all the DC shows leading into this thing. Do you feel like watching all Next Generation's worth it?
Next Generation's awesome. There's too much of it.
Yeah.
You know,
how many seasons were there?
I want to say there's 6.
Okay.
It's 7 seasons. There were supposed to be 8, and then they canceled them for.
There's a lot of episodes and there's a lot of filler stuff. It's a great show. I'm sure a recap would be just as good. There's going to be connections to one of the last movie that Picard was in that I haven't watched that I probably should watch, and like that one's not supposed to be great.
That was the one where there's a clone of him, right?
Nemesis?
Yeah, Star Trek
was
Nemesis.
there one after that?
I don't remember with one with him. I feel like that was the last Next Generation one.
Because like I don't know that like.
Fun fact: that's Tom Hardy in that.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. Yeah.
So weird.
Anyway, so that's awesome news. And then our last news story before we jump in our big topic is actually Avengers news.
Oh, real quick. The last thing I want to say about Picard is the trailer looked fantastic. I have not watched Star Trek at all. Like, I liked the recent movies. I like the first two a lot. But then this looks fantastic. And to me, this is proof of where streaming services are going. Discovery's great. People are loving it. But now this is the step of like, no. We're going to like give you the show you actually really, really, really want.
It's very exciting.
And it looks like they're going to nail it. Like, all this news sounds like they are giving people the, kind of the Logan of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to include in trailer talk, but Nick isn't here, and he is, he's a big Star Wars Trek fan. So we'll talk about it next week, probably. The last news story I want to include before we jump into the Marvel news is Endgame.
I want to be
finally surpasses Avatar as the #1 highest grossing movie of all time.
During the panel.
Yeah.
During the fucking panel.
Really exciting stuff. So
crazy,
congratulations
James
to
Cameron.
them.
Absolutely crazy, yeah.
Suck it with your crappy your Avatar movie. We hate you.
It's a good movie.
We hate
I
Avatar.
just rewatched it. It's
We
By
hate
$1
with
million
Barrett.
at this point.
Yeah. Which is
$1 million
crazy.
over.
Just
Insane.
Are you guys? This is something I don't say often. Are you guys gonna buy Avengers?
So here's my reason why I'm not.
Okay.
The release is garbage. The 4K release is missing a whole bunch of things. It doesn't have HDR10 plus. It doesn't have Dolby Vision. It doesn't have the IMAX version. So I'm pretty mad about all of that.
Okay.
And also a lot of my friends are buying it, so I'm sure I'll be able to just borrow it, watch it, whatever. But I will eventually, hopefully, when they announce a big box set or something.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if it's 4K, and hopefully when IMAX gets involved, I'm buying that.
You assume for Christmas this year, right? The Infinity Saga.
We'll talk a little later about like all the
apologies.
Marvel stuff, but like just to get to it now, it's like they showed the logo for the Infinity Saga.
Yep.
So it's like that exists for a reason.
Yeah.
I imagine that will be some sort of box set. My problem is I don't see them like we have to wait until Far From Home is out on Blu-ray. It's not going to come out for at least a couple months after that happens because they're not going to miss out on their
sales
home
for
video
Far From
sales
Home,
for that, right? So,
but the other thing is this is going to be a collector's item. Like you'd imagine this is going to be in a crazy set that's awesome and it's going to include 22 movies. Like this is not going to be for your regular buyers.
There's a lot of questions there though. Like are they going to go the 4K route? Not all movies are 4K yet. They've been
most of them, right?
I wouldn't say most.
There's very few.
I think it's
right?
about 50-50 at this point that are 4K. Yeah, they just finished, or the Iron Man are on pre-order right now, all three of them. They're not out yet. Like, if I remember correctly, Captain America trilogy just released fully in 4K. So it's like they're kind of like making their way through, which is good. One day we'll get that. But with the weird licensing and stuff, of like, I wonder, are we going to get Incredible Hulk? Are we going to get Homecoming and Far From Home? I'm not sure that they'll be allowed to do that in some type of box set.
That's really interesting.
And on top of that, I wonder if like even the collector's edition, if it's going to be like the Lord of the Rings style, like we're giving you so much behind the scenes. This is the definitive collector set that's going to be worth $1,000 or $700, whatever.
But I mean, that's 22 movies.
Yeah,
like buying them
exactly.
separately, you're going to get
You
really
gonna buy
high
it?
in that.
I think that there's a
yeah.
higher chance of them putting out a not as crazy collector's edition to keep the cost down. That might just be here's the Blu-rays, here's the discs,
Or here's like the essentials. They might do like I don't know, most popular,
No way.
greatest hits.
I don't think they'll do that.
No?
They're gonna also do the Phase 3 box because they've done Phase 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And they're so
like,
hard. Those are so hard to get now.
Well, yeah, the Phase 1 like is famous because the box that they used, like they didn't have rights for it. Not the Tesseract, but like
The Tesseract
briefcase.
suitcase.
So like they made them and then had to stop selling them. So now they're super rare and very,
What
very
happened?
expensive.
They didn't own the box?
The briefcase that they used is the same one from the movie, but they don't own the copyright to that briefcase.
Gotcha.
So the
Sam
company that
Snyder,
makes the
whoever did,
briefcase was like, not cool, bro, and sued them.
Give us $1 billion.
Yeah.
Congrats to Endgame. They did it.
Yeah.
I don't do physical media, but I want to buy Endgame for sure.
Yeah.
And I obviously, I don't care about the
Yeah.
bells and whistles. I want to get the extended features. I just want to watch it again. I want to watch it at my own speed. I want to pause it when everybody comes on screen.
When the physical, like if we get a box that's like the 4K, like that's what I want. Like,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like I
totally.
hope it comes with a code and the code, like,
Digital album.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna get this movie at some point, and with Disney Plus, it's gonna be available.
Oh, that's a great point, too.
to stream, and it's like that's not that far away. And
December.
depending on
Can't
how,
wait.
like they've been talking about HDR and all that stuff with Disney Plus, and that's the stuff I care about. And the Infinity War to this day, it's like it's better to watch it streaming on Vudu than it is to watch the Blu-ray. Like that's insane because it has Dolby Atmos and shit. It's like,
Assuming
come
you
on,
have
guys.
like excellent internet. Yeah.
and TVs and all this
Yeah.
stuff, but we do so.
Yeah. All right, now it's time for a big topic. It's time to talk about some Marvel news.
Hell,
Tim Tam.
yes, baby. I got
You got
notes.
the rundown.
I got notes for days. 7 pages of stuff.
I'm very
it's cool
excited.
shit. First up, Bear, can you bring up the Infinity Saga logo? So this is what I'm talking about here.
Is that Jessica Chobot at San Diego Comic-Con?
Jessica Chobot hosting the Marvel Studios panel.
We know her.
What
Proud
the
of her.
hell, man? So cool. So proud of her. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
Like, I love how she didn't announce it.
I'm sure they said not to. I'm sure they said nobody say anything about this stupid thing. You know what I
Man,
mean?
just insane.
Stupid thing.
Utterly insane. But yeah, so this was the Hall H panel that happened at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Despite me literally begging every single human being I knew to get in, we did not get in. God, we got close though. But we were close. Like,
He's standing
When
outside.
I was Monday morning quarterbacking it of like, man, we couldn't, because like I was trying to get him in through Marvel Games, so like we can't get anybody in. I was like, you know what? The rumor had always been that Kumail was in Eternals. Probably should have hit him up. Meh.
yeah, doesn't matter.
It's fine. It
but
didn't happen.
it ended up being something that we've pondered, we've postulated. Is that the word? Speculated. Done a lot of things over the last year at this point of like, what are they going to do after Endgame? Like, how are they going to announce their next lineup? And we were all convinced they weren't going to do the Phase 4.
Timeline.
Here's everything. Here's the timeline. And they literally recreated what they did in 2014 for
I think
Phase
we were
3.
all convinced. I was hoping that they were going to do this. I didn't expect them to also have the Disney Plus stuff.
And that is the key element to all of this, man.
is.
When it started and we just saw all the logos next to each other and it was just Untitled Project, Untitled, going through it all. And he's like, we're going through Phase 3 today. And by the way, Phase 4. This is Phase 4. This is the entirety of Phase 4. All the other, anything that's not
That's
on that
wild.
screen is Phase 5 or beyond.
Yep.
And he said that in a whole bunch of different interviews because
Yeah.
it did kind of seem like this is only 2 years. That would make this the shortest.
That was my
phase.
thing when it popped up, and I was watching Agent M's Twitter, and when he popped up with the image, I was like, Jen, like, there's 6 things on here, and it's only through 2021. Like, that's not, like
10 things.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, 10 things, but that when I was looking at it, I had the same moment where I was like, it's 2021, and I was in the car with my friends, and like I was giving them updates, and I was like doing the math, and I'm like, wait a minute, like 2 of these are 2020, 3 of these are 2020, 7 of these are 2021. Oh, we have to get 7 new movies? Like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
insane. And then when they started talking about it in the TV shows, I'm like, this is brilliant. Like, this is the best possible future for this, where this shows their commitment to these
Disney
shows,
Plus, yeah.
and for these shows are going to matter equally to the movies.
And what a seal of approval, and it goes back to what we've talked about before on our postulating shows, in the way of like, does it get confusing? Do you not know what is this and what? And like very much clear, like the Infinity Saga is here, and now here's Phase 4, and it includes these shows, and like you can actually sit there and do it. One question I have for you,
Yeah.
and we're just shooting from the hip here
Go
before we
for
get
it,
into it. This came up on the subreddit, and I think it's a great question. Are we going to put the shows into MCU in review?
100%.
Just make
I
sure.
just need to figure-
Episode by episode, or show by
here's
show?
the
No,
thing.
show by show.
That's still, I think episode by episode.
You think
but
episode by
here's-
episode?
Here's the problem.
I think we do episode by episode MCU in review of the show,
And
then
then
we go
rank it
the
against the
show.
movies.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
that's great.
But there's a thing that we still don't have the answers to that I'm hoping D23 kind of goes into a bit more. Is remember, we have D23 next month.
So exciting.
Like that is insane. And like I'm jumping ahead of it here, but Daniel RPK, who's one of the like Marvel guys, doesn't always get things right, but he's one of the leaker insider people on that side of things. He tweeted out, "You thought this was good? Get ready for D23," with the little like eye emojis. And who the fuck knows? Maybe he's just like looking
But
for
I
some
mean,
internet
like,
clout.
I could see that being the deep dive into like, hey, look, this is what we have on the stuff that we've shown already, and maybe this is hints of what Phase 5 is going to look like.
Well,
or-
we get that at the end of this, though, right? In terms
Yeah,
of the
that's
hints.
true,
Yeah, so I'm just gonna.
I
Like,
don't think they're going to go beyond it. But let's
Start-
talk about Phase 4 and talk about Comic-Con.
Start at the end real quick of just like a couple like things to keep in mind overall, like that I found from interview quotes from Collider and Variety and IGN and MTV and stuff with Kevin Feige. With Collider, he says, "This is the complete Phase 4, the way I announced the complete Phase 3 5 years ago. Things can move, things can change as they did if you go back and look at." Can you bring this up? Thank you.
so cool.
Things can change as they did if you go back and look at what we talked about 5 years ago for Phase 3. But we've been working on this for quite a while, and it's pretty set. But there are always changes possible. MTV talked to him and said, "Are you already planting the seeds for the next crossover event, whether it's Secret Wars or whatever?" And Feige says, "Yes, we debated what we should announce today. Should we announce 4 and 5? We've planned them out. We've got 5 years down the road." And I was like, I think 11 projects in 2 years is plenty.
Dude, this looks so
Now,
cool.
An interesting thing, he said 11 projects in 2 years. There's only 10 projects here. So did he misspeak? Was he including Blade, even though Blade's not going to be in the next 2 years? Or is he understanding of the fact that Spider-Man is a part of this? And we just don't have an announcement yet, and that's because the Sony side of the licensing and all of that.
Interesting.
If we want to talk about that for a second, some interesting Spider-Man stuff going on. I was trying to do some deep dives into the contracts, into the figuring out what's going to happen.
Did you call Tom Holland?
I called him. He didn't answer.
Gotcha.
So I tried to look into the contract stuff of Tom Holland. How many Spider-Man movies has he signed on for? Blah, blah, blah. These contracts are not public records. So it's not like you can just find this. So it's all kind of hearsay of what people have said from things that have heard, people like reports the journalists have got and whatever. So the initial deal was only signed for 6 movies with Holland, broken down to 3 solo films and 3 appearances in other Disney-distributed Marvel Studios movies. So Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, his crossovers are done.
Yeah.
Solo movies, there would be 1 more. But producer Amy Pascal, who's the person that made the deal on the Sony side, hinted in 2017 that Spider-Man and his supporting cast could eventually disappear from the MCU. She said at the time, one of the things that I think is so amazing about this experience is that you don't have studios deciding to work together to make a film very often. In fact, it may never happen again after we do the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming.
That's crazy.
It's fucking idiotic is what it is.
Well, now, I mean, like they can make a shit ton of money just making their own Spider-Man movie, and like then they have all the money and all the clout.
Don't do that. Don't do
their own
that.
shitty Spider-Man movies.
Don't fuck this up, Sony.
Here's the thing. This is where things get into the more rumory, unconfirmed territory of, did this guy actually get this info, or is he just doing this to get a fucking headline? But a couple months ago, in a recent edition of journalist Richard Rushfield's entertainment industry newsletter, The Ankler, and Rushfield is a pretty respected dude in that field. He's been on the business podcast many times and stuff. Like, he seems to know what he's talking about. Rushfield peels back the secretive curtain of the deal that was signed between Sony and Marvel Studios back in 2015 to share the character. Quote, the original Sony/Marvel/Spidey deal to co-produce these movies stipulated that if this Spider-Man cleared $1 billion, Far From Home, Marvel would get to oversee a third. If it doesn't, full control would have been reverted back to Sony.
Did it clear $1 billion?
Not yet.
Yeah.
And so that's
how close.
It didn't look close when it first launched. It looked like it made amazing money, but not $1 billion. But as of right now, it's looking real good. Spider-Man Far From Home is at $970.8 million.
We'll see.
As of this weekend. It has $30 million left. It's only been in theaters like 2 weeks. I think it's going to be fine if any other Marvel track record is to show. In fact, it gets even weirder when it comes to these box office numbers. No superhero movie is between 900 and $1 billion. It's always either under 900 or over $1 billion. Huh. So there's some trend that's just like, if it is that successful, it's going to push over. Interesting.
God, I hope they keep the
don't fuck
rights
this
to
up.
it. Yeah.
Don't fuck this
don't
up.
fuck it up.
Yeah.
Just don't fuck it up. But interesting Spider-Man stuff here is, so Far From Home is at $970.8 million, which makes it the highest grossing Spider-Man movie ever already.
Wow.
Spider-Man 3 is the second at 890. Spider-Man Homecoming at 880. Spider-Man 1 at 821. 2 at 783. So the one that everyone says is the best of the Tobey Maguire ones. Like, that's surprising. And then Amazing Spider-Man and 1 and then 2 at 757, 709. And this is the heartbreaker. Into the Spider-Verse at 375.
Oh my God.
Watch that fucking movie, you dumbasses.
Animated.
Yeah.
Animated.
It's just like,
so good,
what a shot in the
Dude,
kneecap, man.
Are you kidding me? I'm the first to say it. I tweeted about it this weekend that I thought about the message in the movie and started tearing up.
It's on Netflix. Right now.
I know. Yeah,
I'm well aware.
Trust me, it's definitely when I pop.
It's one of those ones I pop over just to look at the trailer, just to have it like autoplay. But yeah, so all that Spider-Man stuff, it's interesting.
It's so scary too.
Yeah, it is. But I think we're gonna hit that mill.
I want to reread this quote just to myself, but I'll give you back. Okay.
Also, I mean, they made a lot of money off Venom. I'm sure Morbius is gonna do well too. Like, hopefully that's enough for them.
Will Morbius do it? Because like Venom, I get. Venom
nobody
is
thought
that like
nobody thought Venom was gonna do well. We saw the trailers for Venom. We were like, oh, that movie's terrible.
You guys didn't like the trailer for Venom, but of it doing well, that was never a question.
Yeah, it was.
No,
100% was a question. Venom, it doing well isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
It was a question for sure. A Venom movie without Spider-Man? No way. But Venom is a popular character. That's
yes, exactly. And he's a popular enough character where you could pull that off.
Just like Morbius.
No. fucking
vampire.
No.
But it's the same idea, right? Is that they're going to have the Marvel logo on it. Not Marvel Studios, but the Marvel logo. And everybody's going to be the same way here. Like, that was one of the funny memes going around after this, right? Of like, after Kevin Feige realizes he can slap the logo on anything, and it was the Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm going to make some weird shit, right? Because all this shit is like whatever, but it's got the fucking logo on it. So everybody's like, yeah.
Just to get through the stuff that's not on the lineup right now. Guardians 3 was talked about, but Feige said that it's happening. James Gunn tweeted, sorry to disappoint, Guardians Volume 3 is happening, but I'm finishing Suicide Squad first.
That's what you get.
Fucking Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we got him now, boys.
Yeah.
And then Variety, Kevin Feige was saying on Fantastic Four that all of that is spoilers, but I'm extremely excited about the characters and bringing Marvel's first family up to the sort of platform and level that they deserve.
Oh my God.
I'm well aware of what we need to do.
That was the ending, right? Where he's like, that's Phase 4, and everybody's going crazy. He's like, we didn't get to talk about everything. We didn't even talk about Fantastic Four. We didn't talk about
the direct quote that he had.
Thank you very much. Should have known Tim had it because he talks about the sequels first.
Yeah.
So he talks about Captain
Panther
Marvel 2,
2,
Black Panther 2,
Guardians
Fantastic
3.
Four.
It's wild to me that they're not in this phase.
Yes and no. Again, we were talking about this earlier, you and me, when we first got here and started ranting about all this. It is the fact that it's so short. It is just till 2021. I get that, like, they're still so far out that, like, getting those deals and you can't fast track them, right? You have a plan, you have a vision, you got to bring them in later.
But you got to imagine Black Panther 2, as soon as they were done with Black Panther, or at least as soon as it premiered and like made $1 billion, they were like, oh, let's work on this right now.
Sure, but I mean, it's got to be in some kind of form of pre-pro, right? You figure that's going to be for sure. I'd say Black Panther 2 probably is going to be the spring 2022 movie.
I wonder if there's any like, is any of this like this way because of X-Men and Fantastic Four and incorporating them?
Okay, check this. I do have the quote here. He says, we didn't have time to talk about Black Panther 2. We didn't mention the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming. We didn't have time to talk about Captain Marvel 2. It's on the way. I didn't even have time to talk about the Fantastic Four. And there's no time left to talk about mutants and how they'll make their way into the MCU.
Did you see that live? Did you see the video clip of it?
Yes.
Jesus.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
Like, you want to talk about like what we were all feeling. I was at the grocery store refreshing this, like what we were all feeling to hear that audience fucking pop
insane,
nonstop.
Man.
When fucking Mahershala Ali puts on the Blade cap, the way they fucking lose their mind.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
So
it reminds me so much of the Phase 3 announcement.
It's
video.
just amazing.
Yeah.
It's just the Variety has a clip of the entire panel up that you can watch. It just doesn't have any of the exciting stuff, like any of the big reveals or any of the actual footage. And then IGN clarified in an interview with Feige about his statement of mutants. He's like, why'd you say mutants and not X-Men? And he was like, mutants and X-Men are interchangeable. I just said mutants. Whatever we do will be quite different than what's been done before.
Interesting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, cool stuff all around.
X-23.
Now, going back to the beginning. Can you bring this up, please,
This guy up?
Barrett? To read through everything. Black Widow, May 1st, 2020. The Eternals, November 6th, 2020. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, fall 2020. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, February 21st, 2021.
February 12th.
What's up?
February 12th.
February 12th, 2021. WandaVision, spring 2021. Loki, spring 2021. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Hell yes.
Such a good name.
Yes. May 7th, 2021. What If? Summer 2021. Hawkeye, fall 2021. Thor, Love and Thunder.
Let's go!
With the coolest fucking logo on there.
November 5th, 2021. Blade with the date TBA. Black Panther 2, TBA. Guardians 3, TBA. Captain Marvel 2, TBA. Fantastic Four, TBA. Mutants, TBA. Spider-Man 3, question mark.
That sounds some good movie watching and TV watching.
Oh, man.
You want to
yeah.
talk about selling Disney Plus?
That's the way
Done.
to do it.
I mean, there's my money. Take it.
Here's the thing. So we're getting scrambled all around here. What I was saying that I'm
Scrambled
excited
eggs.
for D23 is I want confirmation on how these shows are going to be released. Is it binge or is it episodic? Because
I
right
thought they
now,
already said it was episodic.
all we know is Mandalorian 1 and 2 seem to be episodic. We don't have any release scheduled for the rest of them.
I hope
so.
they binge it.
I don't. I hope it's episodic,
I also
man.
want it to be episodic for multiple reasons. Because one, we could definitely have in
Content-wise, that'll be
review.
better
Yeah,
for
it'd
us.
be great for us.
And I just feel like it's going to like keep the conversation going. Like
Guys,
MCU lasts
so
forever.
money hungry with your
No.
content
No,
plans.
also,
I'm
like-
joking.
That makes
but
it better, I
It is
think.
important that like I feel like if these shows are so well thought and developed, binging them may not be the best way to consume them. Like having time to build suspense and also get excited is important. And like waiting a week.
Cliffhangers.
Yeah, exactly.
Have they talked about how many episodes this stuff is?
So God, everything they're saying so far is just speaking right to my goddamn soul. They're aiming for 6 to 8 episodes.
Okay.
Like 6 being the goal and trying to just make it a tight story. And they're treating these as if they're projects equal to movies.
Okay.
So it's like they want it to count as much story-wise.
Hour-long
and
episodes, you think?
I'd imagine. Yeah,
It's a lot. That's a
around there.
lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, especially because they got like
40 to an hour, I would imagine. Will these have post-credit scenes? You got to imagine they will. Not after every episode, but
After the
like
end,
the
yeah.
final one. And it's like, are those post-credit scenes going to move into the other movies? What I also really like is I don't expect that we're going to see seasons of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like,
No,
Right.
yeah.
this is what
the
it
thing.
is, and it's like this is such a cool MCU version of what they're doing, and seeing them all together, it's like, yep, these are all equal products.
It's just so exciting. And to like the story that they're gonna go with Falcon and
We'll
Winter
get into
Soldier.
that.
Yeah.
So,
it's very.
Can you bring up the cast pick? So this is the Phase 4 cast pick. Pretty damn epic.
Holy
I love that there's so many new faces that we're gonna end up loving eventually.
I love the dude that's
Benedict
gonna be the
Cumberbatch.
voice of Watcher.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah. Very exciting.
From Westworld, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So going into it, let's start with Black Widow. May 1st, 2020. Can you bring up the logo there? That's
There it
what we
is.
got. Directed by Kate Shortland. She's best known for her films Somersault, Lore, and Berlin Syndrome. They're all film festival winners. So she's kind of on the smaller side right now. This goes back to what like the earlier phases of MCU really were doing. I mean, again, all of them really. Like, Roosters weren't big until they were.
Yeah.
Right? Taika wasn't big until he was. So cool stuff. We got another cast pick here of them. So there's the
Looks so
Black Widow
happy.
cast. Just gotta love
Rachel
it.
Wise, dude. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And this dude from Stranger Things. Why is he smelling
David
Rachel
Harbour?
Wise's hair?
I think
He's
it's a
kissing
little
her on the
kissy
head.
kiss.
Because he's weird.
This is the dude on the left is the one from Handmaid's Tale, right? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, going through the cast here on the left, on your left, we have O.T. Benley, who you may know as the underrated Bae Luke in Handmaid's Tale.
He's great.
His character is a fixer who's not an Avenger. He reportedly has a bit of friction with Natasha and may be romantically linked to her. Then next to him, we got Florence Pugh, who was recently in Midsummer, and she was Paige in Fighting with My Family. The
Oh.
WWE thing.
Okay.
Really good. As Talina Belova.
That girl can act very well.
No, sorry,
Midsummer's
I'm wrong with this. She's Yelena. In a quick peek during the film during the Comic-Con panel, the studio shared footage of Yelena and Natasha fighting each other in Budapest. They kind of have a sister relationship. Natasha actually calls her sis, but like I don't know if it's like real sis or like
She might be one of the other ballerina
Yeah.
types.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Black Widow.
You think they're
Scarjo.
setting up a new Black Widow?
Yes,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then we got Rachel Weisz as Melina. We last saw her romancing and pushing around a queen in The Favorite. Her character has been cycled through the Black Widow training project called The Red Room since she was a child, first appearing in 1983 in Marvel Fanfare number 11. Iron Maiden was one of the several mercenaries hired by a character named Damon Dran to eliminate Black Widow. And then on
God,
the
Rachel
right,
Weisz is such a good actress. I'm excited to see her in more
Mummy.
stuff. Yeah.
we have David Harbour.
The Favorite, too.
Nah, Mummy, man.
Yeah, all right. You're right.
Currently,
Mummy too
Stranger
as well.
Things as Alexei.
talk about
No, he's going to be Alexei in this as the Red Guardian, essentially a Russian version of Captain America. Harbour also recently starred in the title role of the reboot of Hellboy.
So he's already
Didn't do well.
a titled, established character. People who are saying they want him as the Thing, stop. He's not going to be the Thing.
It's over.
Unless
dead.
this movie is the prequel to him becoming the Thing. Just putting that out
I think
there.
that would be a very weird choice.
He's like, I can't. He's like, I gotta go deep undercover. I'm going to America, and the last shot is him opening a passport, and it's Ben Grimm, and everybody's like, woo!
So they showed some footage of this set after Civil War. It shows her. It starts with like a montage of all her strongest relationships. So you kind of see like her from past movie footage with Cap and Clint and Iron Man. And it ends with kind of the betrayal part of Civil War and her being on the run. They keep talking about the wants to wipe the red from her ledger. Definitely the theme of the movie. She returns to Budapest. Taskmaster is the villain in the footage shown.
Right. Taskmaster.
Yelena is sister-like to Natasha, and they fight at some point. It's been filming for 30 days, and they showed footage of Budapest, Natasha versus Yelena, Natasha versus Taskmaster. Brutal fights, great action, gorgeous shots. Can you bring up the concept art? There you go. That's a concept art of Taskmaster, looking dope as fuck.
Does he?
I'm into this concept art.
I really
Imagine
like
how this is
it,
going
yeah.
to translate to.
Imagine him
the
with
real
a
suit.
big ass sword.
Yeah, that's all fine. It's just the ski goggles. Like, come on. Looks
That's
like
concept.
he looks
This
like a
is
metal
gonna look
man.
dope.
We're
wearing
gonna
a
make it
seal.
look more skull.
Have you seen the leak shots? I mean, granted, they're leaks, so who cares? But
Yeah, remember when we saw the leak shots of Mysterio and then how he ended up looking?
Yep.
Or Captain
remember
Marvel?
being all on board.
And those weren't leak shots. Those are the shots.
The
from
EW shots or whatever.
Where it's like, why is she in this like frumpy weird suit?
Sure.
And now her suit is like awesome.
Yeah.
We all loved her suit.
You're right, Will
Remember how
Smith,
much we
Aladdin.
loved it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Smith, Aladdin. Never forget. But anyway, Taskmaster, fucking dope. And apparently in the trailer, it's Taskmaster doing what he does, which is mimic your kind of fighting style and moves and stuff. And
So cool.
Like they're doing the same, like Herc and Rana type shit, and then they both land in the same pose.
That's wild.
Somebody on the subreddit brought up the idea that since he's using the shield, has he been watching Captain America footage?
Yep.
And learned
Yeah,
all
I
that
would
shit?
think
So freaking tight. Really love that. I think that's all we really got for
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Next movie up.
Do you think the Hawkeye makes a guest appearance in there?
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Give him
No.
a good moment.
Yeah, especially because she's back in Budapest, right?
Yeah.
She also didn't get a super huge goodbye in Endgame.
This movie, I
Yeah.
imagine, is going to be the.
Right. The like, where it's like we get that meaningful, heartfelt moment with someone like Hawkeye.
If I had to guess, they're going to build up this Yelena chick, and she's going to like pass the torch. But like, I'm sure, like, at some point, whether it's the end or post credits, there'll be some type of big boss visiting the tombstone type.
Sure, that makes sense.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier next up. Here's the logo. Anthony Mackie was in an interview and he said that he was fitted for a new Captain America costume.
Oh, wow.
Even him walking on the set of the Hall H
With
panel
the
with
shield?
the shield.
Oh
bring it
my
up,
God.
Oh
God.
my god! Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Look at
Here
it.
we
Look
go.
at
Look how happy he is. You can see in his eyes.
He's Captain America,
Captain
dude.
fucking America.
You gotta love it. It's interesting that they didn't change the name of the show because that was kind of the like.
But I like
No.
your idea that you brought up earlier, where it's the Falcon becoming Captain
and
America.
I think that's
That's
what it's
why
gonna
the
be.
shield's there, right?
That's what
Yeah,
it's gonna be. But I think it's interesting. Like, everyone kind of thought they were gonna change the name, especially because they changed the logo.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But they showed an original logo for Falcon and Winter
They added
Soldier
the shield, Greg.
at Disney Plus.
Remember, it looked
Oh.
like what? Like the Falcon looked different.
There was a
and then the
Falcon,
Winter
like,
Soldier,
the red
also.
Falcon, and
Yeah.
the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier, little like.
I think
Yeah.
this plays in perfectly because
Totally,
I think, yeah,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
by the end of this, the
Also,
Falcon will be no more.
More Baron Zemo. All right,
So that's-
with
that
his
is-
little purple mask.
that is the
All
biggest
right,
thing here,
Bacon
man.
Guy.
Yeah.
There he is.
There we go. Bacon Guy making his return. They did a fun little thing where he had like a video message of the
Bacon
actor
Guy.
Daniel Bruhl as Helmet Zemo making his return, but now he actually has the comic accurate hood.
Remember, Bacon Guy right now, number 4 on
Wow.
the overall Ragu Bagu list.
I mean, he was a
35.
fantastic villain, and it's interesting that he's going to be put in the show because it's like he's so much smarter than these guys. You know,
It's gonna be cool. I mean, this is gonna be a very awesome show, and obviously a testament and like the test bed for what these Disney Plus shows, like where their quality actually is.
Do we get old Chris Evans in there somewhere?
God, I hope not, because it's going to pull on some heartstrings that I don't want.
I feel like there has to be
I mean,
at least one
here's the
thing.
thing,
Of
they
like,
need
they
to
get
prove that this is like, yo, motherfuckers, you gotta watch this.
You
shit.
don't think-
exactly. I feel like they get their ass kicked by Baron, and like there's like they are down in the dumps. We'll never be able to do it. And they get like a pep talk from old Chris Evans on his deathbed.
Yes.
Wouldn't he have gone back to his own timeline somehow?
This is his timeline.
No, it's not.
You're so wrong. And it sucks.
How is it not his timeline?
Because
Because
he
he
lived
left
in another universe that like had him marry what's her face and go
Right,
on.
but he's from our timeline, the timeline he's come back to. This is his timeline, is what I'm saying.
I mean, kind
And
of.
you can't go back because if you can't go back to the other timeline. That timeline's all on its own.
It's all murky stuff now, you know.
You'd have to have Tony Stark do it, and guess what? He's fucking dead. His daughter might be able to figure it out, but she's too young to figure it out, so he's gonna die here alone. Now, don't get me wrong. Peggy already died. That's clearly why he felt like he could
How'd
come
she
over
die,
here.
Greg?
Oh, how did she die? Fucking.
Captain America?
That formula was still in him,
Another
you know?
Captain America came from another dimension.
Sam will wear the Cap costume at some point. They confirmed, which is really cool.
Probably last scene.
Then-
You think so?
I hope it's earlier.
It might
Last
be
scene is like the easy answer, but man,
But
hope
I feel
it's-
like, stick with me, I feel like it would be doing Daredevil right. Remember how Daredevil,
Right.
season 1, he finally gets it and gets on one fight, and you're like, well, that fucking sucked. This
Yeah.
one would be cool because it would be like, cool, The final fight. I finally feel Cap's just died. I feel like I understand. They have Bucky. He puts it all on. He's like, chink, let's go. They do the one episode that he fucking does it, and he's Captain America, and then it is the graduation. To the movies.
He's got to say, suit up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they do it in like the second episode and like he fails miserably.
Yeah.
Takes
I like
it
that.
off.
That's good too. I'm not ready.
Back in his thing,
yeah.
and then gets a modified version that's better for his wings or something. You know?
Sure.
Love it.
Oh.
God, what a world we live
Do we
in.
I
think
know,
he's
it's
keeping the
wild.
wings?
Yeah, he's gonna keep the wings. Why the fuck would he ruin? Like that's his thing. Like he doesn't have super serum soldier in him.
Real quick, Google Sam Wilson, Captain America.
Yeah.
No,
I'll be honest. I really wish he wouldn't keep
I
the
just wanna
wings.
show people.
But
Yeah,
I agree that he needs to.
That's what makes him special.
Now he just looks. Now he doesn't look like Captain America. Now he looks like
No, but it's a
goon.
new. But here's the thing. It's a new Captain
Down
America.
to the right.
Oh,
Down to the left.
Left. Right. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
Let's
Too much.
go.
Got too many things going.
Hell no, dude.
No,
Love it.
I'm into it.
Oh my god.
We just don't know yet, right?
Do we think that Bucky's gonna hold the shield at all?
I mean, he'll pick it up at some point.
Like by prepping for like, hey, he's gonna be Captain America someday.
He'll never be Captain America.
He'll be Captain America. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm sorry, buddy.
won't.
Sorry.
Eternals up next, November 6th, 2020. Here's the logo right now.
It's very
Boom.
cool.
Directed by Chloe Zhao, a Chinese film director, screenwriter, and producer. Her debut feature film, Songs My Brothers Taught Me, in 2015, premiered at Sundance. Her second feature film, The Writer, in 2017, was critically acclaimed and received several accolades, including nominations for Independent Spirit Award and Best Film and Best Director. So another smaller director making big moves. Feige says, quote, "It will be a story that will introduce you to this incredibly eclectic group of immortals. They're the focus of the story. It takes place in our universe. It takes place in the MCU, so you'll hear mentions and stuff about it. But yes, the Celestials go back a long way. We know a little bit about them. The Collector told us about Celestials. Nowhere is the severed head of a Celestial, the planet. Ego was involved with them, but we learned much more about their agenda and what they've been up to. So there's a lot of talk of like, was Ego really a Celestial, or was he just wrong and like egotistical? I did a little research into who the hell the Eternals are, because even after all this, I still don't really know. There's someone that I'm definitely not familiar with.
No, go ahead.
The Eternals are immortal aliens sent here by the Celestials to protect humanity from the Deviants. The Celestials were essentially the very first beings ever created. In the comics, the multiverse as a whole will occasionally die, and a new one will be born. We're currently on the 8th version. The Celestials originate in the first multiverse and have been basically seeding and experimenting with life ever since in each multiverse. They're responsible for the shaping of the universe, essentially. In the comics, they're also the creators and distributors of the Infinity Gems. They make them at a place known outside of reality and then place them in each universe. They're responsible for a lot of Earth's powers as they meddled in early human genes. So this, I'm going to stop right now and just say, earlier you're asking about like, what's this doing for X-Men, whatever.
Yeah.
Phase 4, I very much think is we're going small. We're introducing a bunch of characters, but they're totally building
Setting
the seeds
everything up.
for X-Men, for all the big crossover events.
Thanos is a deviant. Yeah.
This resulted in several offshoots of humanity, including Eternals, Deviants, mutants from the X gene, and sometimes indirectly the Inhumans, for Kree activating latent genes left by the Celestials. They're essentially like semi-robotic gods that show up time to time either as plot devices or threats. Nobody actually knows what they look like without their armor. The Eternals were the first race born from the Celestials meddling with early humanity. This cast that we see make up second and third generation Eternals. As Eternals lived on, some were born with something called the Deviant gene and become more monstrous, and it's looking like the Deviants will be the antagonists of the film. The Eternals would stay on Earth and get involved in all sorts of things from our history. Another offshoot would leave and settle on the moon of Titan, where Thanos would be born to an Eternal named Alars. So.
Also, I mean, is there a lot of mystery of what they look like? I feel like people inside nowhere kind of have an understanding of what that, right?
The skull?
The inside of the skull.
Yeah,
Like,
but I
isn't
think
that
it's
a
talking about
skull?
like under the weird armor stuff. So there's concept art of the Celestials.
Yes, and it looks so cool.
So
Look at that. This movie is going to be really interesting, and I'm very, very excited for it, because this is like broad, like giant stuff that we're not used to, like, we're not used to thinking
the
of when
scale
we
of
think
this
about
cosmic shit.
Yeah, Marvel, and where it's like, is a bunch of this movie going to take place
In the
millions
vacuum
of
space.
years ago?
like over time.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. A Reddit user, XX Francisco, says, curious, maybe the Celestials, the true Celestials, not wannabes like Ego, got powered by the stones. We would just miss Mind, who would be the one whose head ended up becoming nowhere. Also, I like that the Power Celestial is the smallest one of all. So there you go. And we've seen this in Thor Dark World, this Power Gem guy on the bottom. Was it Dark World?
No, it was Guardians 1.
Guardians.
Yeah. So this is interesting, and the coloring does definitely add up.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then we're missing, which one was it? The soul? No.
Mind.
Mind.
So then, can you go over to the next picture? Yeah, pull this up, please. So this is the Eternals cast with who they are. I'm going to do this a little bit out of order because that's how I have it written. Angelina Jolie. I got all this from Alejandro Salazar at Refinery29. Angelina Jolie is Thena, the warrior daughter of the eternal Zurus. You might have guessed it, but there are deliberately strong parallels to Athena and Zeus. Thena's original story actually begins when she changes her birth name, Azura, so that she and her father could serve as Athena and Zeus's human representatives on Earth. Along with being a formidable warrior with your standard super strength among other abilities, it's not clear which powers she'll have in this movie. Athena is a noted scholar, having studied under both eternal and human teachers across millennia. She's the cousin of Thanos.
Ooh, he's purple.
Then we got Richard Madden, who is Robb Stark in Game of Thrones, Prince Charming in the live-action Cinderella, recently in Rocket Man.
Oh, yeah.
He is Icarus.
He's good in Rocket Man. He's a bad guy in that movie.
His character actually has a personal relationship to the Icarus of legend. In the comics, Icarus was the father of Icarus. One of those Icaruses has a K, one of them has a C, who was born to a human mother. Icarus with a C died in the comics, and as he did in his myth, by devising a winged flight suit flying too close to the sun and falling to his tragic death. And in mourning, Icarus with a K took his son's name to honor his memory. Then we got Kumail Nanjiani. You know him from Silicon Valley and The Big Sick. He's Kingo. Kingo is described as a samurai and master swordsman who parlayed his skills into a successful career as a film star and producer. No details have been released regarding how the Eternals will adapt him from the comics, but Nanjiani's bound to bring some always welcome comic relief to the film. He says, quote, Marvel movies have action, drama, romance, comedy. They have everything. So I'm just excited to be able to do all of that, Nanjiani said at Comic-Con. Lauren Rindloff, who was Miss Deaf America 2000 to 2002 and Connie from season 9 of The Walking Dead, is Makari. Rindloff is making MCU history as the franchise's first ever deaf superhero, and in yet another departure from the comics, Rindloff, a woman of color, plays the eternal Makari, who's originally portrayed as a white man. Makari has superhuman speed and a history of meddling with human affairs, from the Trojan War to the reign of Vlad the Impaler to the Battle of Alamo. He's also a skilled engineer and scholar. We got Brian T. Henry. He's from the original cast of Book of Mormon, Atlanta, and Jefferson Davis from Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
He was also in Child's Play, and he was great in that.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
the recent Child's Play. He's Phastos. Phastos is known for his intelligence and is often confused for the Greek god Hephaestus. Hephaestus. He reportedly has the pedigree to back it up. According to Nerdist, the character built most of the Eternals' devices. So we got the Donatello of the group.
He does machines.
He does machines. Then we got Selma Hayek, who is playing Ajak. In a clever bit of gender-bent casting, Hayek is playing Ajak, the leader of the Eternals. In the comics, Ajak spent much of his time in Central America and became a deity to indigenous populations in the region. The Aztecs thought he was... How do you say that, Kev?
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl.
Nice
The
job,
feathered
Kev.
serpents and the Incas worshipped him as the Lord of Flight. Teko Matsin. During ancient Greek times, Ajak was confused for Ajax, a hero of the Trojan War. And at Comic-Con, Hayek introduced her character as a strong woman, adding there are a lot of motherly instincts in this Eternal who's not supposed to have kids. Don Lee, one of the most popular and bankable actors in South Korea, is Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is named after the legendary hero and Mesopotamian king. It's unclear whether he actually is the Gilgamesh of lore. After years in exile, he was also dubbed the Forgotten One and became the physically strongest of the Eternals. He says, I can't wait to show you the power of Gilgamesh at Comic-Con. And when asked if he or the Incredible Hulk would win in a fight, he said Gilgamesh, but not after quipping, is Mark Ruffalo here? Because I don't want to upset him. And then we got Leah McHugh, a 12-year-old actor known for The Lodge, American Woman, and Totem. She's playing Sprite. This was rumored to be...
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yes. But no, it's a little 12-year-old. Although physically a child, Sprite is an eternal. Sprite is an incorrigible trickster and practical joker and has been for centuries. It's rumored that in Marvel continuity, he was the inspiration for William Shakespeare to write the character of Puck in A Midsummer's Night Dream.
So you assume she has to die in this movie, right?
Right, because she can't
She
grow
can't
up,
be young.
yeah.
She can't be young forever. They
Or
can't-
somehow she like they
can
break
not-
the eternal
Yeah,
curse.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've always wanted to grow up, and that's what happens. Yeah.
He revels in what he sees as playful behavior, seemingly unmindful of the sometimes deadly consequences of his pranks, especially to fragile mortal humans. Though he has been punished time and time again for his actions, he always returns to preferred way of life after a while.
This is their Loki.
Little Loki.
Yeah.
Little Loki.
Yeah.
Little Loki.
Baby Loki.
It's crazy that like they're throwing this like giant world at us that's like, man, I cannot wait to jump into these characters. I hope that one of them is like huge and like we get movies that come out of this. Marvel, bless them.
For me, it's definitely. I love Marvel, and you put the studios on it, I'm gonna go watch it. This is the one I'm least excited for, just because it gets so.
That's what you said about Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I remember talking not shit, but I was like, but this one's so
big.
that
Yeah.
I have trouble wrapping my head around it. in a
This,
way.
I think, is going to be the biggest struggle of them so far.
Yeah,
Because not only is it a bunch of characters with weird names that we don't know, like even comics fans aren't familiar with. Like these
Yeah.
are even lesser on the list than Guardians ever were.
Is
you
that
know?
true?
Eternals? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I feel like
Guardians,
when
at
Guardians,
least-
when,
I definitely know
when
Rocket
Guardians
Raccoon.
happened, it was like Guardians.
Yeah, but
Sure, but
Guardians
you'd
it had
heard
popular
of them,
comic
right? You'd
runs.
heard of Rocket Raccoon.
There are hero clicks of Guardians. I
Yeah.
don't know if there was of the Eternals. You know?
Great point. HeroClix
There might have been.
decides all.
It does. It does.
Decides it
No,
all.
but I think more than that is what is the tone of this movie? I think
Yeah.
Guardians succeeded so much because it was able to be this kind of like space comedy thing. And like from what we've seen of Marvel, space is comedy so far.
Yeah.
Right? We got Ragnarok.
I don't think that's going to stay the same.
And I don't know if that's going to work.
I think with this cast of characters and Kumail getting like, I think Kumail's gonna be really funny. I think they have a really interesting thing. Remember when we read The Sword for Comic Book Club? I feel like it's a similar thing there. I just need you to nod. You didn't read it. I know.
didn't read
whatever.
it.
It was a similar thing of
I
these
didn't wanna lie.
these gods that had existed forever on Earth, right? And like there was enough diversity there. I think it's gonna be really fun to start in the modern day of what they're doing and where they are, and then rewind it and see them be these hulking beast gods that are doing all this different stuff. And maybe I'm misinterpreting the story all around.
Yeah, well, there's the hulking giant beast gods, like the Eternals or
Celestials.
yeah, Celestials. Those are different. Like those are we don't know what those are.
They created
100%.
them.
Yeah,
Right.
I think they're gonna interact with them in a more
I think so too.
yeah. But then there'll be the
it's-
basic Kumail playing video games, and you're like,
It's interesting because there could be in this, it could span like a big chunk of time.
Yeah.
And then part of that could be like, oh, this is what they did in the past. And then another part could be like, this is what they did behind the scenes in the MCU.
And that's the
world.
thing I'm most excited about is
that you
because like
didn't know about.
Feige is saying it takes place in our universe. It takes place in the MCU. It's like I think he's really talking about like all the stuff of it's not just going to be them doing Trojan Wars and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. It's going to be events that we.
I think you'll see that kind
like,
of
yeah.
stuff. Though. I think you're gonna see they'll go far enough back. You see them interact.
It'd be really cool if when what's his face, Red Skull grabs the Tesseract and gets zapped somewhere else, there's someone on the other end being like, all right, we moved him and now he's over here. You have to do this now. And it's the Eternals that are running these minor things behind the scenes that will like.
And I feel like they have to do that type of stuff. Not too much of it, but like that grounds it in why
Yeah.
we would give a shit about
Yeah,
this whole
totally,
thing. But yeah, I do think that this is going to be a big question for them. But like they're showing confidence having this be out the gate,
Yeah.
one of the first Phase 4 things to go. So then next up we got Shang-Chi.
Wait, before you do that,
Go
let's
for it.
take a moment to read some ads. Our first ad today is Me Undies. Summer comes with a number of awesome perks: vacation, beach days, barbecues, but one perk that outshines them all is summer-themed undies, courtesy of, you guessed it, Me Undies. Me Undies is the only brand that lets you eat pineapples while wearing pineapple undies. Ugh, pineapples are gross, but Me Undies are so comfortable. Or watch the skylight up on the 4th of July knowing your undies are doing the same. I love Me Undies so much. My onesie is my new favorite loungewear. I use it at home all the time. It's just so soft and comfortable when you wear them with your undies. Nothing beats that comfort. Speaking of comfort, Me Undies scientists spent countless hours in their underwear labs testing out the softest fabrics in the land. The result? Micromodal fabric, which is a full 3 times softer than boring old cotton. Yeah. Cotton, you suck. Not only that, but you can match your bottom half with your better half in matching prints and colors. Look out for new summer theme prints dropping every Tuesday. Right now they have a little shark theme one that I really want to get.
Ooh.
It's a bunch of little sharks. I love it.
I love it.
I also have the pineapple one. I don't like pineapples, but God, I love MeUndies that I'll even wear these things. MeUndies also makes the softest lounge pants and onesies. I've talked about it. I really, really wanted to wear my onesies to the airport, but Paula was like, "You don't got enough." Like, it has pockets. She just talked me out of it.
She scared you, but don't be scared, Kevin.
Paula also loves her new Mer People lounge pants. Ooh. And I'm not going to lie, when I got them, it was real hard to give it to her because they could have been mine. You know?
Maybe when she's not home, you just sneak them on, you know?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Finally, you can now match with your pup with their new Buddy Bands. Aww. Available in the same prints and colors as their MeUndies. This is important stuff, people. They're little bandanas you put on your pups.
Yeah,
or cats.
Ooh.
You know? Is Thomas going to wear one?
Oh,
I don't
maybe.
know. MeUndies has great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, when you purchase any MeUndies products, you get 15% off and free shipping. Get 15% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. Go to get the 15% off, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Go to MeUndies.com/morning. That's MeUndies.com/morning. Our next ad is Quip. Packing your toiletries somehow always involves a delicate game of stacking and spacing, hacking, and don't get us started with the lotion exploding all over your DOP kit. That happened to me this last trip to Austin. It was terrible.
no.
I had sunscreen everywhere. My toothbrush, my Go toothbrush, covered. Do you know why? Because it didn't have a little cover. It didn't have a cover on it. These MeUndies ones are great. These Quip ones are great. Let's see. That's why electric toothbrushes work just as well at home as they do on the go. The compact and wireless design tucks easily in the corner of your carry-on or your back pocket if you're just spending the night. Plus, travel-ready cover protects you. See, this is what I'm talking about, from the sandy swimsuits and luggage slip-ups. Like my sunscreen exploding. Heartbreak. And 3-month battery life will last through a season filled with weekend getaways. They're making it easier than ever to keep up with your wake up and wind down routine when you're out of the office. That's why Tim loves them so much. Also, they're super stylish. You guys get it.
I love my Quip very much. I'm Greg Miller, not Tim.
They also have the built-in 2-minute timer pulses every 30 seconds to remind you when to switch sides and help you clean your whole mouth. Which is super important because nobody does that right. We all know we take 15 seconds and we're done. With God damn it, with Quip, you can do it right. The multi-use cover works as stand, mounts to mirrors, slides over the bristles, keeps the pack and protect your Quip on the go. Quip is one of the first electric toothbrushes accepted by the American Dental Association. They're backed by over 25,000 dental professionals, and they have thousands of verified 5-star reviews. The new brush is the same size as our original. Oh, this is for kids. Just tweaked for size down mouths. Kids are inspired to brush better and more often with oral care that looks and feels like products the adults in their life use. And they're proud to use Quip. Help them develop a grown-up routine without childish gimmicks. Tim loves Quip because it's so stylish. He's got the all-black Quip, and it's dope. Get Quip at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/KFMS, right now you can get your first refill pack for free. That's your first refill pack for free at getquip.com/KFMS. Now, back to the Marvel news.
Shang-Chi, baby. Let me tell you about this. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Man.
Not
all
1,
those
not 2,
nerds.
not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not
So
9,
many
but
rings.
10.
So many rings. February 12th, 2021. Now, when's the last time we heard about these 10 rings, Greg?
Oh, man, I'll tell you.
Iron Man 1.
Nope.
Thank you.
Iron Man 3.
Really?
Yeah. Well, technically,
you're right.
the last time we heard about him
The
was
10 rings they mentioned in Iron Man 1, right?
There's a weird logo that you see
you're right.
in the
The
background.
logo's in the background.
That's
Yeah.
all you
But
really
the-
see.
Because Iron Man 3 was the Mandarin. We
with
got
the
the
10
lie.
rings. Yeah.
Oh, did they talk about the 10 rings?
They did.
You're
yeah.
right. You're right.
So, again, the real Mandarin in this. But I guess technically the last time we saw it was in the All Hail the King one-shot featured on Thor Dark World.
God.
Where we saw Trevor Slattery in jail. Do you remember watching this?
The fake Mandarin.
Oh, I never watched this.
Oh, really?
I never did the extra credit.
Oh.
Can I get them on YouTube?
Yeah.
You can get this one, and it's awesome. Like this is.
I heard they were all
I
great,
think-
right? Is this the
They're not
Justin
all great.
Hammer?
This is the really good
This is
one.
where Justin
Justin
Hammer
Hammer's
pops
in
out?
it. Yeah, this one's really cool.
You
And
got Sam Rockwell will rock my world. I'll watch it. You know what I'm saying?
there's
Everybody tweet me these links because I won't remember to watch
the
it.
Mandarin's a warrior king who inspired generations of men through the Middle Ages, perhaps even further back in time. The assassin says, "There's someone who wants to meet you. The Mandarin has come back for his name." That's somebody that was talking to Trevor.
Yeah,
for his sins. But anyway, we're getting into all this. Logo, boom. Can you bring it up?
Boom.
Barrett.
Oh.
The boom was you.
Boom. There it is.
There it is.
Directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, a Japanese-American film director, screenwriter, producer, and editor. He's best known for his collaborations with Brie Larson in the films Short Term 12, The Glass Castle, and Just Mercy. A little background on Shang-Chi. As a master of hand-to-hand combat, Shang-Chi's power stems from his ability to learn any fighting style as well as control the life force, Chi. Able to dodge bullets, deflect gunshots, and dodge deadly weapons ranging from short swords to shuriken, Shang-Chi can throw down with the best of them. Previously, in Marvel comic books, he's taught Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, and more recently, Domino, different styles of fighting.
I feel like the stuff that he can dodge, very limited. I wish it went a little further, like bullets or arrows.
Yeah, no.
You know?
I'm able to dodge bullets, deflect
Oh, did you do that?
gunshots,
I'm sorry.
and dodge deadly weapons.
I just
ranging.
heard shurikens.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, Simu Liu is going to be Shang-Chi. We got some real fun tweets for you here to bring up.
Right. Look at this dude owning social media.
Hold on.
Barrett struggling.
But anyways,
You didn't send this to me.
oh fuck, I fucked that.
I got it.
on
I'm
you,
on
then.
it right now. So you want to
Send it
start with
assets,
the
please.
2014 one?
Yeah.
You want to start with this one?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. I'm sharing to assets.
This is another interesting one where it's like, I don't know much about Shang-Chi. But
I don't know
like,
anything about it,
after
but, like,
Doctor
reading-
Strange, I was like, all right, like they're gonna do origins right now.
He sounds way like a cool Iron Fist, right?
Have any of you
Iron
guys
Fist
watched
is so
Kim's
bad.
Convenience on Netflix?
No, I've heard
You
good
should
things.
watch it.
So what's the word on this, Joey?
So
what is
he's-
that show? He's the
so
main character.
It's a Canadian show about this Korean family that owns like a convenience store, and it's very like, what are the short comedy shows called that I can't sitcoms? I guess
Sitcoms, yeah.
It's really funny. It's really good. It's pretty niche, but he's really good in it. He's super funny. He's one of the main characters. It's 3 seasons on Netflix. You can watch it right now, just so you get like an idea of what he's like. It's really good. I recommend it.
That's fantastic. Do you have the tweet, Barrett? There we go. So in 2014, he said, "Hey Marvel, great job with Captain America and Thor. Now how about an Asian American hero?" And then July 21st, when it was announced, he just replied to himself, "LOL." And then there was
great.
another tweet
That's
as
great.
well.
I sent it to you, Barrett, as
cool.
well.
Oh, God.
I think this one right there at the top. Thanks for getting back to me.
Yeah, hold on.
And this one, okay, Marvel, we going to talk or what about Shang-Chi in December 2018? And then he responds, "Well, shit." Gotta love it, man. Having fun.
That's
They also
pretty funny.
announced Awkwafina is going to be part of the
All
cast.
right, dude.
Hell yeah,
Aquafina
man.
fucking
Good for
killing
her.
it. Good for her.
Did you watch Farewell?
Wait,
I did.
Aquafina's a
The
person?
Farewell.
I thought that was a character you were announcing.
No,
No.
Aquafina, the actress?
Yeah.
Been in Crazy Rich Asians,
Oh, okay.
Ocean's 8,
Okay.
The Farewell.
Show me a
Now
photo.
this.
Come on, Barry. You got the Twitter. You got the
Oh,
internet.
man. She spells it so. There. Oh, he nailed it.
Damn, he knows Aquafina. Oh, I love her in Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
great in everything she's been in.
So wait, so you saw Farewell?
Yes, The Farewell.
Was it
Oh,
good?
how was it?
It
It's
was
so
very
good.
good. It was,
yeah.
it's
I'm
so
excited to watch
enjoyable.
it.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Okay.
So
You
yeah,
should check it out.
Awkwafina, we don't know anything about her character. It literally just said Awkwafina.
That's all
Cool.
you need to
That's
know.
all we
She's
need to know.
playing
That
herself.
is all
Yeah.
we need to know,
Yeah,
honestly.
great.
And
I hope
then
she's the funny friend.
Tony Long
Tony!
is going to be the Mandarin, the real Mandarin. He's a Hong Kong actor. He's considered one of Asia's
can you look
most
him up?
successful and internationally recognized actors, and was named as Small Tiger among 5 Tiger Generals of TVB. I don't know what that means,
don't
but
know
that
what any of
sounds
that means.
fucking awesome. But I was with all of my very Chinese friends at Comic-Con, and they were losing their shit
That's
over
awesome.
over this. This guy specifically.
Jesus
the whole
fucking
thing, but
Christ.
this guy specifically.
Is that second picture him too, or is that the other
No,
guy?
No,
That's the other-
that's
Shang-Chi.
Oh,
that's yeah.
He's got a good chest.
Yeah,
you know
he
what I
does.
mean? Great abs.
Look at
Great
him.
abs.
Look
Great
at him.
abs.
Yeah, so that's pretty much that. I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
real cool. Then Loki, spring 2021.
Let's take a moment to talk about this logo. What the fuck happened here?
It'll make sense when you see it.
It'll make sense when we see it, I'm sure.
But like it doesn't now, and we've got a long time till we see it.
Well, isn't the L kind of like Captain America's font, and isn't the O like Asgard
Thor's,
fonts?
yeah.
Like I think it's giving you a hint as to what he's going to be doing in this.
No,
show.
and
The
I get
problem
that,
with
but it just
though,
looks like shit.
Is that it's not those fonts. Like the O is, but the L
tried
isn't.
everybody.
Yeah,
I tried.
it's like, because I thought that too. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, is that Thor 1, Thor 2, Thor 3, and then just like a Loki thing, and it's not though. So,
I mean, I just feel like this is like it's funny. There's so many good logos in this, and then they had a logo that like it is not good. This
I
super
like to do
far away.
weird shit, man. I think all of them are like weird. I think that there's a couple of them that I'm like, those don't look what I'd expect them to. Like the WandaVision ones.
They probably
like,
won't be finalized. I like the WandaVision one because it gives that 1950s Atomic Family vibe. You know, like on the fridge.
Yeah, like Frigidaire.
It's that text, and it's just.
I
think
like
that
this because
fits.
it's fucking weird. And
This
it shows
is so weird.
this show's gonna be fucking
They
weird.
could write it in dog shit. I don't care. It's fucking Loki. It's Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston,
Fucking
baby.
roll, boys.
Confirmed.
write
This
it
is
in
the
dog
2012 Loki that escaped with the Tesseract. We're now dealing with weird shit, ladies and gentlemen. The
Multiverse,
MCU.
man.
This is the
Yeah.
multiverse. This is
our first
parallel timeline.
first test.
Do
of,
you
like,
think he gets out and gets to our timeline?
I don't know. I mean, the most interesting thing is like, in the Kevin Feige was doing interviews, he was like, "This is the 2012 Loki. Think about what that means. He just got Hulk smashed back and forth at the end of Avengers. No redemption arc, no growth, no knowledge of what happens after that.
Is it possible for him to jump to our universe?
comic
like
It's comic books, man.
if he
We'll
jumps in
find a
the
way.
future, it would be his future, not ours. So
Well, yeah,
With things we know right now,
Sure.
but
Yeah,
who the fuck
the
knows?
Eternals fart or something, and guess what?
Exactly.
Oh, there we are. I'm over here now.
Then we got WandaVision, also spring 2021. Spring's gonna be popping off.
This logo,
2021's popping off in general.
I'm
Can't
very
wait.
into
Yeah,
this.
Fuck 2020 already. I'm done with it.
I hope we get the opposite of the Vision comic.
Where
Or-
she's created the vision and
Yep.
she's trying to like live in her weird world she's
Yep.
I mean, dude, this.
It feels
With all the
like
news
that,
we
yeah.
got that's coming up right here with
Yeah.
this story and the next one, it's insane what they're fucking building. Because so
Very
Elizabeth
exciting.
Olsen, Paul Bettany, and Teyonah Parris, who's from Mad Men and Dear White People, playing Monica Rambeau, the little girl from Captain Marvel,
Which is weird.
growing up.
Which is
made.
weird.
Oh.
Why?
Because how long ago? Oh, I guess.
Yeah, Captain
Captain
Marvel was in
Marvel
the
was
Right,
90s.
you guys are right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
That's not
And
weird.
she
Cool
becomes,
as hell.
when we did the Captain Marvel in review, we talked about how she becomes a superhero.
Photon?
Photon.
Photon.
Is it Photon? Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what
That may not be
what
right.
happens here. I think it is.
Really? Okay.
But I love that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
This type of continuity is why we love the MCU so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Ah,
And,
it's
like,
just so crazy to think that like
the little
like,
girl
from
the
Captain
90s.
Marvel is now going to be in this. Like, all right, cool, awesome. So in.
They confirmed it is set after Endgame as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wanna be a
I think we're about to see some real dark Scarlet Witch shit.
I'm very excited, and they
Well,
were
that
saying
leads-
that this is going to be more like this is going to be the introduction of like her witch powers
Yeah.
way more.
and it leads into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
The
What a
first,
great title.
I will say there's a lot of M's in this title.
There
House of
are.
M?
yeah.
See.
Yeah.
But here's the logo. Directed by Scott Derrickson, who is known for two things: Doctor Strange 1 and Sinister.
Fucking terrifying movie.
Terrifying fucking movie.
I hate that movie so
And they
much.
said this is going to be the first scary MCU film. So put
Which-
those things together, and oh yeah, baby.
I'm so like on the fence of
Oh,
like I
maybe.
really like Doctor Strange, so more Doctor Strange is awesome. But an actual scary movie, I don't know, guys.
it won't
I
be
don't know.
that scary.
How is Andy gonna take it?
Not well.
Poor little Andy. He's
No.
gonna have to watch it.
Is Scarlet Witch, you think, going to be a good guy, bad guy, gray guy in this one?
I think it's going to be.
The
She's
worst
kind of
guy.
lost her shit here.
I don't
in
know.
WandaVision.
I mean,
That would be such a cool thing that if WandaVision ends and she's lost her shit, and now we have her doing some weird shit because she can't control herself.
yeah.
the thing is, the rumors are the bad guy in this is Nightmare. So
Oh, yeah.
I can kind of
is that
see.
rumors or I thought that was confirmed?
It's. I mean.
No.
All but confirmed.
It's one of those things
Yeah.
where it's Scott Derrickson has been tweeting a lot about Nightmare, but it's like not like Nightmare's the bad guy. But I can imagine Wanda kind of like losing her shit slowly over the show, going into this, and then Nightmare kind of like pushing it over the edge.
I wonder if Nightmare is the catalyst that like caused her to
Causes
lose
some
her shit. Yeah.
crazy shit. Does that start the mutants? I don't know.
The
Yeah.
opposite of House of M.
This ties directly into WandaVision. And yeah, Scarlet Witch. Oh, Jesus.
Scarlet bitch.
Scarlet Witch is going to be, that's what I meant to say. in this in the way like Hulk was in Ragnarok.
Yeah, they
steal the show. Got it.
They said like whatever her arc is in her show, she will find herself on the doorstep of Doctor Strange's place at the end of it. Pretty much.
It's mind blowing that like this show is directly gonna connect to this movie, and that like everyone's gonna have Disney Plus because
Disney Plus is about to make a gajillion fucking dollars,
right?
$7 at a time. Good for them. Cheap enough to like keep people going, and that's another reason don't put it out binge wise. You know, what I mean?
keep
put it
on
out
it.
week to week. Yeah. Anyways, what if summer 2021?
Woo!
Here's the logo.
Remember when I pitched this and Louis Medina's like, "No, that's a stupid idea, Greg." In your fucking face, Louis Medina.
I do remember. I remember.
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Spike
I
the
know.
football.
Here's the cast list. Which is freaking
Ridiculous
insane.
and
This
awesome.
was the thing that we talked about on that Game Over Grady show.
Michael
where we were
Rooker.
like, this is Dream World. They would never actually do this. Here they are. They're
were
doing
listening.
it. And they literally listened to our episode. And
We
And
did
that's
it.
what
We
it
made
is
this
the
happen.
characters from the MCU.
And
So,
so
this
they-
gives us an idea of some of the storylines that they might play.
I was trying to remember, and I got facts and what we talked about on the show. This is animated, right? That's how they're bringing everybody back. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are just VO.
Gotcha.
For
Perfect.
everybody.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, dude. That's so cool.
So, yeah, I
I
mean, like-
wonder, do we think this is gonna be like more towards adults?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's just that's such a hard product. I mean, like as we just talked about with Spider-Man, like animated doesn't perform as well.
Sure, but that's a movie. That's a major theatrical release. This is, hey, you know the major theatrical releases you want. We have these videos that I think.
Of storylines that don't necessarily connect.
Yeah, but I think
we're
there's
canon.
enough of us that when you put up a thing, you're like, what if Michael B. Jordan was Black Panther? He didn't give up the throne, right? He didn't lose. What if Winter Soldier didn't come out of his mind wipe, right? What if Thanos kept winning? What if Loki never
I
died?
can't believe this is the world we live in where like
Here's the
this
thing.
is a possibility.
I think that this is very much going to be a test bed for things that are moved into real canon, right?
Yeah.
Do some cool stuff and like some multiverse shit.
Hey,
We
it
can
turns
figure it
out if Red Skull had like,
I mean, you look
utilized
at this,
the
and
thing-
this is like the most exciting. One of them. I mean, everything's exciting. Don't get me wrong, but like the cast of characters. I mean, Michael Rooker. Like, what if Yondu did eat Peter? You know what I mean? What if they did get?
like how weird is it? We have Ant-Man, right? We got Paul Rudd,
And you have,
and then we
you
got
have Michael Douglas
Yeah,
too.
there-
Michael
well,
Douglas, but then we also got that guy.
his friend.
Bro, why is it just him?
Hey man, that's what they got.
Where's
signed on
Michael
so
Pena
far.
at?
So this next piece on this show is why I think this is going to be their version of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
So
Go for it.
So this guy right here,
Jeffrey
watch it, baby.
Yes.
Wright.
Throw
You
it up
know him
there.
from Westworld, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and the upcoming Bond 25, as well as Basquiat, which I've never seen.
No,
I've heard of it before.
That's not ringing any bells.
Moscow.
But anyway, here we go. We get this cool image of,
gonna be
of
the
the
Watcher,
Watcher
yeah.
over there. He's the fucking Watcher, man.
Yeah. It's gonna
God,
be
this
awesome.
is so
if you
cool.
if you never read What If comic books, this is gonna be so fucking good. To take the Marvel Studios universe, the MCU, and say, what if this shit happened? It's gonna fucking be awesome.
I mean, this is like Marvel totally unhinged, having fun with like, hey, you know what'd be cool? Let me tell one story that may not necessarily have ramifications in the whole universe. And
Yeah.
it's just like, God.
So the first one we
excited.
know is Peggy becoming the super soldier instead of Steve, with Steve donning armor, like the Mark I Iron Man armor made by Howard Stark, which is cool as hell.
Yeah.
And if you go back to the cast page, it's like you can see the
You say that, but why isn't Peggy or
She's in the middle. Right under
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dots.
yeah,
My
was right
apologies.
there,
Thank
and
you.
then,
Sorry, we're
Idiot.
looking at a very low res. Wait,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
Chris
Yeah, this
Evans
is-
on there?
No, I don't see him.
Okay. Chris
yeah,
Evans,
that's
don't be a jerk.
But no,
Work
he's
for
gonna
scale.
be
Go
on
do
it.
it. Work for scale, Chris Evans.
They have money to pay.
yeah. Anyway, cool stuff.
Nebula, though, that's awesome.
Then Hawkeye, fall 2021.
Look at that logo.
Oh
Do the fraction
my
run. Do the fraction
God.
run.
I lost my shit. Seeing this, when it was this logo, I'm like, holy crap. And in interviews, they're saying that they're going to take from the fraction story, but also other stories as well.
Of course,
For,
yeah.
for the people that don't know what the fraction story is,
What's your pitch
you
on
talk
it?
about it all the time.
I mean, it's what gave Hawkeye an identity, I think, to most fans, right? Hawkeye being an everyday. It's what does Hawkeye do when he's not an Avenger?
Yeah.
And it's him living in a shitty New York
Sounds
apartment,
boring.
needing
And it-
rent, the dog, Kate Bishop, the other Hawkeye.
It introduced more people
It
to
introduced-
Kate Bishop
Yeah.
being super cool and like a fun Hawkeye.
It introduced comedy to Hawkeye, which was really fucking awesome. It introduced like why you should actually care about Clint. It's something that has had ramifications throughout media, like since then, right? Like even in Ultimate Alliance 3, right? He looks like the the Hawkeye you'd expect from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But when you talk to him, he mentions Kate Bishop and he jokes around about it, and like it's very much like, hey, this is the defining moment for this character modern times.
So we got confirmation that Jeremy Renner's in it as Clint Barton. This will introduce Kate Bishop, and it will also explore Clint's time as Ronin. So that's the interesting kind of thing there. So it's obviously going to be the MCU version because that storyline wouldn't work.
I
given
wonder
what
if we get
know.
flashbacks.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. 100%.
And like consequences.
I think it's going to
be
exactly,
people.
exactly,
Yeah.
Kevin. You know, it's going to be
So
him
good.
on the farm with his family,
Yeah.
trying being dad again. But then the flashbacks to all the people that he fucking took out.
And then Kate Bishop.
Yep.
Like, is she just some random lady?
Young Avenger Hawkeye.
Yeah.
She is.
But she's
Hawkeye.
no relation to.
No,
Okay.
she is just the new.
and you assume this
Hawkeye.
is the same thing, right? Of passing the torch, so that
100%.
Jeremy Renner can stop being Hawkeye.
Yeah.
But like, do we think there's any chance that like Kate Bishop will be retooled into being his daughter?
Potentially.
Yeah.
They did say Kate Bishop though, so I think we already heard the name of the daughter, so that would be weird. And also her last name is Barton.
Yeah.
Unless her middle name is Bishop and they pull some weird stuff. Unless she marries someone, I don't know. There's a lot of things they can do. It's the MCU. You can do
so
whatever the fuck
exciting.
they
Yeah,
want.
I want to say maybe Katie.
Jeremy Renner posted
up?
some shit that he wasn't supposed to post.
Oh, great. Good
But
job,
a cool
Jeremy.
little animation.
Oh.
2 arrows for him and Kate. You see, there's Kate.
God, that moment right there.
Hell yeah, dude. So
really
cool. I
cool.
love in this video, you see the security come up with the light.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
oh, it's
yeah.
Jeremy Renner.
Did you see?
I'm all good.
Did you see him entering? Somebody had an audio. Him entering, bumping the security
He was
guard.
like,
and doing,
he
like,
came from the
fucking-
crowd slapping everyone. He was like, oh shit.
Hit a
High
security
five.
guard. The one little anecdote I don't want to add to this. Anecdote. No,
Anecdote.
I know, right?
You got it. Don't worry. Nobody cares.
Doesn't matter. It's this show. You know what I mean? You fuck up everything you say. It doesn't matter.
You want to brush your teeth better? Use me undies.
I don't know. I'm
Kevin,
sorry.
for the record, too, I'm having a great time with this podcast.
Good,
I
I'm
don't even mean like like you're doing a great job. No. Just a personal anecdote to throw back here, right? Of being on the IGN stage for Comic-Con years and years and years ago. So like pre-2014, 13, 12 with the cast of the Avengers. And I remember during, it was, there's always, all right, they're finishing upside. Here's the next people. They sit down, you get to talk for a while. I remember sitting next to Jeremy Renner, and I want to say Colby Smulders and definitely Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that's right.
And sitting there bullshitting around about it, and Renner said something to the effect of like, just nobody cares about me or whatever. And I remember being like, no, dude, like right now, Hawkeye's more popular than ever. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, they're doing this. This guy, Matt Fraction, is doing this run, and it's amazing every level. He's like, and I'm like, yeah, maybe one. And but I said it, never believing it. And I'm sure, for the record, every other journalist who knows comics said this to him too. I'm not trying to say
fucking
like,
wrote it down. He went up to fight.
I'm just
and
saying,
was
like, it's more a fun
hold
thing
on
of
a
like
second.
telling it. He had no idea what I was talking about, and then also me being like, "That'll never fucking happen."
And
They're
now it's
never gonna give
happening.
Hawkeye that
We're
much
now at a
fucking love.
point that it's like seeing that logo, it gave me this feeling of like, oh my God, like they are pulling from our favorite storylines. And like we've seen what they've done with Civil War, which I would argue they did a better job in the movies than the comics. Like they know what they're doing with this shit. And it's like, let's take these iconic stories and put a twist on it. And yeah, the Hawkeye story will not work with the Hawkeye we know.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
make it work.
Yeah.
They'll make it better, hopefully.
His daughter's name Leela.
Leela.
But short for Leela often is Katie, which could be Kate.
Leela.
Have we
Leela,
done the Fraction
Katie.
run on Comic Book Club yet?
We have not. That'd be a good one
I
to do.
just bought it all.
Did you read it yet?
Nope, not
Okay,
yet.
good, cool. Gotta get in there.
Just throwing it out there.
Fantastic
That could be
stuff.
cool.
If you didn't know, I do a comic book club, patreon.com/kindafunny.
All right.
It's free. It's $1. You subscribe for $1, you can get it. Which is very interesting. The creator of Die going to come by this week and do it. Kieran or whatever. So that'll be fun to have him in.
Next
comic
up,
you like?
motherfuckers. Thor, Love and Thunder.
Oh my God! And the winner for the coolest fucking logo goes to this.
Fucking own it, right?
So
Oh
let
my
me
God.
just drop something to you because I just
drop it on me
when
like
you,
it's
when
hot.
you hear this, you're just like, what the fuck? Like Love and Thunder, weird.
Fucking awesome. I'm in.
Taika Waititi just pitched the title. He was like, you know what? I want to call it Love and Thunder, and everyone in the room was just like, we're doing it. Like, cool, man. You've earned this. But like, how dope is that? That this wasn't like by committee. It was just Taika being like, this is what we're doing.
Dude, and there's some crazy shit coming out of this.
Yes. So Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie, needs to find her queen because she is the king. This is a queer love story. Taika's pushing that. He's like, this is what we're doing. We're going all fucking in on this shit. Based on the Mighty Thor storyline by Jason Aaron, Natalie Portman, making a return as Jane Foster.
What the fuck? Like,
Here
she was gone. She was out. She hated.
was pissed off.
Yeah.
Right? She didn't even come back
because
for
they
that.
fucked her.
Yeah, she didn't even come back for the end of Thor 2, right? That kissing scene on the roof.
Yeah.
They used his wife instead.
Yeah.
So this is insane. She's back.
No, leave it up. I want to keep looking at
Yeah.
this.
This is
Look
just-
at this image is everything that's right about comics and MCU and Comic-Con.
You just gotta love it,
Look
man.
at her fucking own it. Look at him, so excited. Also, like, okay, we'll get to it.
I don't have the picture
Okay.
of it. Yeah, but when
We'll get there.
Mahershala
We'll
Ali,
get there.
Yeah, okay.
I'll find it in time.
Thank you. But anyway, this is just unbelievable. For those that are unfamiliar with the Mighty Thor storyline, Jason Aaron for a long time now, like years, has been writing Thor stories, and it wasn't just Mighty Thor. Like, it's multiple different Thor series that kind of have had the story going on.
Did he do the
and
Thor
on.
Unworthy? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all part of this, which we've already kind of gotten parts of that in MCU, like the version of it, right?
Right.
But this builds into Jane Foster becoming the new Thor because she gets the thing, and whoever holds this is worthy, it's Thor, whatever. What gets interesting is, and I've never read this series. I've only seen like...
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Neither have I.
Yeah,
Neither
I
have
haven't. I don't think I finished it, but I think I got through 2 trades of it.
I
But the
watched
setup in
Benny's
general-
video, the comic story,
sure,
it's
okay.
kind of like recap of it all. And it's super cool. But what's the pitch on the cancer stuff?
So the idea, of course, is that when you pick up Mjolnir, right, you have the power of Thor, and you become, as Natalie will in this movie, or Jane Foster in the comics, I'll stick that way, becomes, female Thor, the one, Lady Thor, the one you saw out there, the helmet, the
Mighty
rocket,
Thor
the
is
rocks.
what
Of course, I'm
they're
just
going
saying.
in MCU.
I know, 100%, but just for like, if you remember the comics back in the day. However, the thing was, Jane Foster had cancer and was going through chemotherapy, right? And so she was, frail and weak. She'd pick up the hammer, become Lady Thor, Mighty Thor now, and things. But when she put it back down, she'd go back to being cancer patient Jane Foster. The thing about it is, when she'd pick it up and do it, it would clean out all the chemo in her body. So it was that thing that if she picked it up, she'd become Thor, but anytime she put it down, she would go back to being this frail patient, cancer patient that couldn't get better. She couldn't fight the thing, so it was killing her. She, if she could do it. And so there was
Super fucking cool.
There's this awesome moral conundrum for her in the book, obviously, of wanting to get well or whatever, wanting to fight, and also then the idea that, well, I could just never put it down. I could always be Thor, but like, what cost does that come at as well?
And now let me ask you guys a question. What caused the cancer? Was it the ether? I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Like McDonald's.
This is crazy. But
There's no. I didn't hear anything that Natalie Portman said on stage. What did she talk about? Has she saw in interviews coming back or anything?
Did she talk? I don't think she talked.
I don't know. I'm looking
I think
at
she
Agent
just came
M's
out and
thing.
looked like a badass, and that was it, as far as I know. But yeah, dude.
You're saying like her face is very like her owning it, but like I don't know. This face right here tells me like she's still kind of hesitant. We'll see.
I don't know.
Oh, you're
man.
such an idiot, Barrett. You're just looking in for trouble. That's a candid shot of her like getting the thing. And she's like,
I look at her eyes.
mugging
She's
at
like,
him.
I don't know. I'm not
she's
quite
looking
sure.
at him. She's mugging at him. What are you doing? He's
She's
flexing.
not looking at him.
What is she looking at? What is she looking at, Barrett?
Not him. I
She's
have the
looking down
pictures.
to her
Looking
right.
directly at him.
just looking at the hammer, guys. That's clear.
She's not looking down at all. You fucking
Yeah,
weirdos.
she's looking at the hammer, guys.
You guys need to understand how perspective works. Anyways, then after this, that's when he said we didn't have the time. We did that whole quote, whatever, blah, 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 Fantastic Four and all that shit. And I can't even say blah, blah, blah. Like, they legitimately said Fantastic Four and mutants. They're talking about it. This is all real. It's all happening. You got to imagine that Spider-Man will also be in 2021, which stacks 2021 even more. Earlier, I was talking about the Spider-Man stuff with the contracts and all shit. You got to imagine if that $1 billion thing is real, it's not going to matter because it's going to hit the $1 billion. On top of that, though, there's been a Spider-Man movie every 2 years. So doing the math on that, it would be 2021. The only thing that might get in the way of that is Tom Holland is more popular than ever. And he is cast in more movies than he's ever been, including Uncharted, which shouldn't get in the way of that. But there are other movies, including one by the director, John Watts, that does Far From Home, is working on a different movie without Tom Holland. So there's that side. Tom Holland's also doing just other movies and stuff that are pretty big deals. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm willing to bet that it's 2021.
If we get another, hopefully we get another Spider-Man movie, but I know that there's major consequences to his name getting announced, but if somehow they're able to skirt that line and it's just him going to college, I'm so in for that,
That'll be the fourth.
You think so?
Spider-Man, yeah.
If they do a fourth.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. He's like a second year, right?
well, now it's this would have been the end of his junior year, right?
No,
I think
he
this is
had
the
to
end
do
of sophomore-
he had to do his sophomore
year again. Because of the.
But wasn't he going to? No, he went to homecoming, not prom.
And that was the first. That was his first year.
That's not right. But anyways, then motherfucking Blade.
What the fuck? I'd say this is such a shock of they're going back to Blade.
Hell yeah.
It's not Phase 4, right? I mean,
It's not Phase 4.
Yeah.
It might not even be Phase 5. This one right now, like from what Kevin Feige said, he's like, look, Mahershala Ali, after he won the Oscar, we had a meeting and he's like, I want to do Blade. And they said, we're going to do Blade. Like, he's like, we're going to make it work. We're going to figure it out. That's what's happening. So there's no director. There's no anything on this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was 6 even, like, or late 5. But remember, like, we might be moving a lot faster with phases now. Or we're not. Phase 4 might just be 2 years to kind of like introduce a bunch of new characters.
Phase 5 could be really long.
5 is going to be setting up, ending in a crossover.
That is what Kevin said to IGN. They interviewed him, right? And they were like, no Avengers film. He's like, well, that was, Avengers Endgame ended a bunch of stuff. This is new beginnings. Phase 4 is all about the new beginnings and bringing in new characters. Barrett, I sent you 2 things to assets. Number 1 is I just want, just for us here, to watch again Mahershala Ali put on the hat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, you do?
Yeah. I've got the whole.
Let's just watch it, guys.
So good. If you're an audio listener, but you should watch it too.
One more time. Everybody, look at this. So this is Phase 4.
Look at it.
This is Phase 4. Thank you. Now, there's a lot of other stuff we didn't get a chance to talk about today. We didn't even mention that we're making Black Panther 2.
Oh my God.
Didn't come up. We didn't mention the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming. We didn't have time to talk about Captain Marvel 2 on the way. I didn't even have time to talk about the Fantastic Four. And there's no time left to talk about mutants and how mutants. But you know what? All that stuff's been rumored. You've heard about rumors. But I want to leave you today with one more thing that I don't think has been rumored about. Ladies and gentlemen, 2-time Academy Award winner, Mahershala Ali. Mahershala, it looks like you brought your own hat, Mahershala. You did? What is that?
It's so cool.
These motherfuckers.
I get chills
It's
every time.
amazing.
You know what I mean?
For Blade.
Yeah. Seriously.
But at the same time, hey, Blade is one of the comic book movies that like worked when it came out.
It's one of the ones that started it, right? In terms
Yeah.
of like, these don't have to be shit.
Incredible, man.
And then I sent you one. I sent you
Incredible.
the one
An
tweet.
image.
Yeah. That this is the one that was also making the rounds, making a big deal out of it. There it is.
So funny,
Yeah.
Taika. They were saying that a lot of people on stage didn't know about this.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
So fucking
so
good,
damn
man.
cool. Yeah, so Mahershala Ali, obviously, we know him from many movies, including Alita Battle Angel, where he had a character very Blade-like looking.
Yeah.
And that could have been awesome. He was also Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And when questioned
Oh,
about that,
right. Fuck, I didn't even think about that.
Kevin Feige was kind of just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck Netflix.
Is it in any of our phases? No, that's not one of our things. Thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to Blessing Jr. on Twitter, too, who had one of the best tweets, I thought, yesterday, possibly after and all this. He goes, Blade and Black Panther are about to have the sickest handshake, I swear to God.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so, dude, that's it. That is it. I love Terry Schwartz from IGN was interviewing Kevin, was like, hey, so like what about like Phase 5, whatever, and he's like, is this all? And he goes, is that not enough? Or no, you expected more. What was the line from Endgame? I'm blanking right now. But when Wong was like, from the portals,
you wanted more?
You wanted more?
You wanted more?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
great.
I love
I didn't even.
Kevin Feige
I
so
saw the
much.
tweet. I didn't even catch that it was a reference to Avengers. It's
Great.
Also, I love somebody else pointed out on Twitter that with obviously Taika involved or whatever, that now Blade introducing vampires to MCU, that what we do in Shadows could be somehow retconned into actually
Dude.
being MCU. Have those vampires show up to fucking with
Man.
Blade.
This super interesting stuff. Can't fucking wait.
not interesting. It is. When we left Endgame, there was that thing of like, I can't, as a comic book fan, I can't believe what I just saw. I can't believe all this here's on screen. This saga is over. And it was that like, man, where do they go next? And to come out here and be like, we are getting even more into the weeds of comic books and into nerddom.
It's wild.
I can't put into words what this weekend was like watching that, me with the Kingdom Come Superman stuff of just like, holy shit, our dreams are all coming true.
Yeah, and I love what this shows, especially if they end up releasing them week to week. Like, we're going to get, essentially, by 2021, year-round quality MCU content to watch, hopefully. You know? Like, in between the 3 months that we have to wait to watch the next movie, there'll be shows to, like, keep it going.
It's so exciting. And, like, God, I hope everything goes well. I hope that they are taking the time to make sure that this is building to the future and they keep the cinematic universe strong, because like they've done such a good job so far.
Ragu Bagu's about to get real long.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I just want to point out, Mr. Yasmin says in the chat, FX is producing What We Do in the Shadows TV show, and FX is owned by Disney.
There you go.
Here
The
we
TV
go.
show, fantastic, by the way. I just watched the first season of
Really?
it. Yeah, it's very good.
It's already out?
Oh, it's out and done. Like the whole season's out.
Huh.
Very fun.
Is Taika involved with that at all? Am I saying his
there's
name
a
right?
cameo. Yeah, you're saying
I feel
fine.
like I fucked that up.
There's a cameo.
Cool.
At the end there.
All right.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Wow.
Hey, got me enticed.
I didn't say how it happens. All right. Now we don't have time for trailer talk.
No.
We'll be doing
It's got an hour and a half of us
Yeah.
ranting and raving
We'll
about
be
the
doing
MCU.
a bunch of trailers next week, so stay tuned for that. But I do have time to tell you what's out now on streaming services. Normally we do this on Friday, so I'm actually going to tell you what's coming out through the week. On Hulu, July 26th, Veronica Mars Season 4. If you're excited for that, that's going to be there. Amazon Prime, July 23rd, Serenity and Hellboy.
Ooh.
Some interesting movies. Serenity is the Anne Hathaway. I think it's Anne Hathaway. It doesn't matter. And then Hellboy I want to watch.
More importantly, though, and I don't mean to get ahead, is that it for Amazon Prime?
No, July 26th.
Yeah,
The Boys.
that's my man. That's
I'm so
BKD.
excited. Which, by the way, season 2 has been announced that they are greenlit
Yeah.
for. And then on Netflix, July 19th, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, new 2019 season. And then we have that same day, Queer Eye Season 4.
Glow's
July.
That came
That's
out.
out.
On Friday.
That's
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
I already
did
watched
it?
it all.
When's Glow?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, July 19th was Friday.
Oh, it sure was.
But
July
we didn't talk about Comedians in Cars on Friday. So
No,
good bringing that up.
Somehow missed that. July 22nd, we have Inglourious Bastards.
Fuck yeah!
And then July 26th, Orange is the New Black Season 7, the final
Still
season.
going. Oh, they're finally ending. Good.
I believe so, right?
Yep.
No, that's, no, I,
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah. That's the
I
whole
came
thing.
back to the Riot season and watched like
Right.
an episode. I'm like, I can't anymore.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
The whole season takes place in like 2 days or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. And then out in movie theaters near you, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Let's go, boys!
Oh,
Jesus.
very, very excited. That's right. That's this
Wow.
Thursday.
That's why I'm excited for Inglourious Bastards, because like I
Yep.
totally want to watch that
Yeah,
at some
yeah,
point
yeah.
this week just to get me hyped.
Yeah, I can't wait for that movie. Check my Twitter for review. Well, my little mini review. Last week I
yeah,
asked.
because you won't be able to do it on Friday.
That's right. Yeah. We'll
Can I
talk
be
about
on next
it.
week and even just shock Mike to?
Yeah,
talk about it?
absolutely.
Very
So
excited.
next week we can talk about how good or terrible it was. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Last week I asked for your recommendations. You all responded. Not that much time to respond, so we only got a couple of them. But where's the one I wanted? Fendi says, you guys are sleeping on Euphoria. It's a great show that's making me keep my subscription to HBO after Game of Thrones. You know what? I went and started watching Euphoria.
Whoa!
I'm 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
It's wild.
You should have been
It's-
keeping it for Big Little Lies. I digress.
Well, I mean,
Not
if
you,
like that,
him.
if you like
Fendi being
that.
like, oh, there's not every game.
You should check out Euphoria. It's crazy.
Okay.
High school
The-
drama shit.
I was gonna say high school drama. It's got MJ in it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Zendaya, I believe her name. is.
But it's good. I'm really enjoying it so far. Zombie High X23 Braun says, I recommend A Silent Voice on Netflix as a movie everyone should watch. Yes, it's anime, but it's a slice of life anime. The movie perfectly portrays a deal and deals with topics like PTSD, anxiety, suicide, and being deaf. It's a total tearjerker, and for sure is my second favorite movie of all time.
I think there was kind of big news surrounding this movie recently. The studio who made this movie, the studio burned down.
Oh, I saw her tweeting about that this weekend.
Yeah.
Because of
So
all
that
the
was. But yeah, that I think that's this studio. So give it a watch. Give them support.
Yeah.
Reach out to them. Say that you
I
love
heard a
them.
lot of good things about this when this came out. People were talking about it in the same light as Your Name.
Cool.
Right. Who else do we have? KCW says more people should be watching Letterkenny on Hulu.
Yes.
Funniest show out there.
Yes.
I put that in there because Barrett is always talking about this show.
Letterkenny.
And then our last one for today is Alec Bobko says, I've been rewatching My Hero Academia recently. If you haven't given the show a chance, please watch it. It's one of the better animes out there right now. Literally this morning, Barrett was telling me about how amazing the show is, and I definitely want to check it out.
It's I have a whole pitch for Greg Miller later on the pre-show of the Kind of Funny podcast of why
Which you can watch at
Kind of
Patreon.
patreon.com/Kind of Funny.
what time?
2
o'clock.
2 p.m. Yeah, there we go.
That's right around the corner.
Yeah. I have a whole pitch, but I think this might be my favorite anime since Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh,
So
great anime.
yeah.
So next week's bronze topic is, what are you most excited for that was revealed in Phase 4? Let me know what you're most stoked about. Throw in some theories. Keep them tight, though, you know. I don't want to read a couple paragraphs. It's too much words for me.
Sure.
And so you can go to patreon.com, go to the bronze tier, support there. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you guys have a great day. You can follow Greg at GameOverGreggy. You can follow him at Tim Gettys. I don't like saying Tim and then Tim again.
Okay,
we went
fair.
over this last week. And you can
Okay.
follow me at Kind of Funny Kevin on Twitter or all social media. All right, you have a good day. I don't know, they laugh. Oh, go watch something